Hey, I'm here with another RV Serious video. I just want to reach out to you guys today about the black tank, your black tank hoses, your gray tanks. Talk a little bit about that real quick. Made another video. I wasn't happy with it and I messed it up, so this is my second attempt at it. Basically, I just want to go over the fact that black tanks, what you should and should not do. So you get to a RV park, and when you're at an RV park, whenever you got shore power, and then you have your holding tanks. And when you're at an RV park, normally you're going to use your shore power, and you're going to hook up your amenities, your water, and you're going to put your stinky slinky up there to drain your black tank and your gray tanks. Well, whenever you go to an RV park, one thing that I'm seeing quite a bit lately, and it's always been, but it's a very, very costly mistake that people do, and people don't understand, and people are lied to. I know people that have been RVing for years upon years, and everybody's a professional, but the people who are actually doing it, RVing, everybody's got their own little thing. So your black tank, you got your black tank, you got your hose hooked up to your sewer, you got your water and everything going. Your black tank and your gray tanks, when you get to an RV park, your gray tanks, you can open those valves up going through the tube. You don't open your gray tank up and let it go all over the ground. It's highly illegal and up to a $5,000 fines in all states. But your black tank, when you have it hooked up to your sewer at your RV park, that black tank valve is to stay closed. It stays closed all the time until you're ready to empty it. When you're ready to empty your black tank, you go out, and that's when you open it up. And when you open up that valve, you drain your black tank. That is what you do. You do not ever leave that black tank valve open unless you don't have a black tank and you have a toilet that works just like a house toilet, where it's direct line straight in and it's all your sewers going straight down. That would be the only time you would do that, and chances are 98% of you don't have that. Now, I have seen some RVs that are permanently at a park where they did remove the black tank and hooked up a regular toilet. That's a regular toilet. They can do that. You, however, cannot do that in an RV. You cannot leave the black tank valve open. It must stay shut at all times until you're ready to empty it. Then you pull the valve, you empty it, then you really need to try to flush that out as much as you possibly can. If you have a flush already on your RV, that's awesome and wonderful. If you don't, shove a hose in there, flush the toilet about 30 times, fill that bowl up, let that water in there. I seriously, when a good flush, fill that bowl up about 15, 20 times, let it go in there, and then open that valve up again. Try to get as much of that stuff flushed out of your black tanks. I also recommend deodorizer for your black tanks as well as your gray tanks. You want to kind of try to help clean out your gray tanks as well. Shut those valves, put some water in them, open them up. I do that a few times. Anytime I'm emptying my black tank, usually the day I'm going to empty my black tank, I shut all my gray valves. And that way, and then we shower, we do dishes, whatever we got going on. That way, if they fill up, and then I empty my black tank, I'm able to open up my gray tanks and flush out that black tank yucky water, the poo water as you would call it, because you're going to empty the black tank first, then after you flush and clean it, however you want to do it, you shut that valve, then you're going to open the gray tanks. Then you can just leave those open until you're ready to flush that black tank again, then go out and shut them. You don't have to, but that's how I do it. I do recommend doing it that way. One thing I am going to say about black tanks and gray tanks, I've heard a number of people say that, well, you can just, if you're boondocking, you can leave it open, the gray. No, you can't. Pretty much every state in the United States of America will fine you $300 to $5,000 for leaving that gray tank valve open. Definitely a high fine with the black tank valve open. But you see people that are going down the road, they got that gray tank open a little bit, and they're letting that just pour out just a little bit at a time. that's going to get you a fine from the police. They're going to stop you. I hear about it constantly. Here in Florida, they are big on that. They will nail you right now. It is a $500 fine for not even having a cap on it. If you don't have a cap on your tank, right there where your black tank and valve tank, gray tank is, I'm sorry. If you don't have a cap on that, that's a $500 fine in a lot of states. So you need to make sure you even have that cap on there, and the tanks are closed when you're driving. Save yourself some money. It's not worth it. Saw where they went in here in Florida, north of where I'm at, and I think they said they fined 150 people in one day for gray tanks being left open. And they went to a campsite area where everybody's boondocking, and everybody sounds like most of the people had their gray tanks open, so they got busted for it. Don't do it. Big fines, cost you a lot of money that you don't need to do, and it is pollution. But yeah, so just want to go over that black tank. Make sure you shut those valves, that black tank and the gray tank, especially when you're driving. Gray tank's open, black tank shut until you're ready to empty it. I'm going to say that a million times because got to go over that. Just want you guys to understand that. A lot of these people I hear all the time that, well, Joe Schmo's been doing this for 20 years. He knows what he's doing. He's been RVing. Well, Joe Schmo doesn't know what he's talking about. I can promise you that. He does not know what he's talking about. You cannot leave that black tank valve open like that. Real quick, why? I just got a call a couple weeks ago from a gentleman. He'd already talked to me about the issue. I already knew what the problem was, and I told him it was going to be $475 for me to show up, and then $175 an hour after I get there, because his black tank was no longer working. He had left it open. He was full-timing at an RV park. 8 months that black tank valve was open. All his poo become a pyramid, become a solid chunk of nastiness, and now it's not coming out of there. The tank has to be replaced. His is to the point where his toilet is backed up. It's solid all the way up to the toilet. So the toilet's got to be pulled, the black tank's got to be pulled, everything's got to be pulled and redone and fixed. Not to mention the fact that I don't know if he'll ever get the smell out of his RV. It's absolutely horrid. So these are things you got to remember to do. Just because people's been doing this RVing for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 30 years, doesn't mean they're professional. They're just as stupid as a lot of other people, and I'm not trying to be rude or mean about it, but that's the facts. I run into people all the time that think they're professional RVers that are not. I've been RVing now for 2 years. I've been in the RV business for a little over 3 years now. And I can tell you, like, when I went to school at the NRVIA, I learned more in a day than I did in 10 years, I promise you. The knowledge of those people that taught me were unbelievable. So when you have people that actually went to school to be an RV tech, to be an RV inspector, they went to school for a reason, to learn how to do this. I don't care if you're an engineer or what you are. If you've been doing this for 40 years, you're not a professional RV person. So, because most of those people that think they're professionals, engineers, are not. They will tell you the wrong thing to do every single time. So take it from somebody that actually knows, that has made, $2,000 off replacing a black tank because somebody told them it was okay. So who are you going to listen to? Hey, think about that. Anyways, I really hope you take this to heart and understand it and know it and do it. Don't want to cost you any more money than you have to. So you have enough problems without having another one with your black tank. You guys have a great day, man. We'll talk to you soon.